Hello everyone, and today we seem to have come across this magical orb that has been talking to us, that it's trapped, it's been stuck forever and it wants us to save it. We do seem to be freeing a little demon who's been trapped forever, who has beckoned us over to him, and with releasing that little demon we are now a little follower of this orb. As a follower of this orb we click it to earn little purple gems, which is our devotion. For each click we get one and we can spend those to purchase new rooms, which brings us to the resource center and a little duck. The duck is called Bob and he is guardians of the resource vats, which is our little storage area, and Bob here helps us update our maximum orb collection so that we never have to stay maxed out. Using our devotion we are able to upgrade our orb, and that does now give us 2 per click, because these are every single time just getting us an extra 1, so it is going to be something that we want to absolutely spam out as much as we can. We're not going to max out anytime soon, so Bob does get to keep being on break for a while. Why do we need to bother him when we can just keep upgrading? We have got to the point fairly quickly where getting more devotion itself is not the most efficient use of our resources, but we can now just up the value by 50%, so we go from getting 6 to now getting 9. That does now unlock us a few extra resources that we can get, such as the experience chance. Gives a 10% chance for an experience orb to spawn. We are just going to keep buying whatever is cheapest when it comes to our upgrades. We do want to make sure we're still collecting our experience orbs as well, so as we're not wasting them, because I don't know if they're going to despawn or not. I'm going to hope they don't. Our little friend here is just telling us that we need to go talk to Bob because we did max out. The experience orbs do disappear if you don't collect them, but we were distracted by our little demon friend, and Bob does take the entire 1,000 that we have, but our capacity is now 5,000 instead of the 1,000 that it was just now. And we do have the achievement for clicking 1,000 times. We also do have enough to open the room for summoning loyal subjects, I'm assuming, which makes us feel like this orb might be using us to build a bit of a cult. And this room is definitely not helping that situation. According to our friend, we need to save up 500 devotion so that we can summon our first cultist, which does only take 2 seconds to summon, but we do now have Linda. So we do now have Linda assigned to praying to the altar, and that just passively generates devotion. And we can roll for a duck. We have Angelica, who gives us an extra devotion per click. Each duck we get can give us different bonuses, and they do slowly scale in price, so we need to be a bit careful with them so that we don't waste all of our pennies straight away. Our new duck is Mr. Blue, who also gives us 1 devotion per click, and honestly this is stacking up fairly quickly for us now. I assume now we are actually there where we have just maxed out our experience, and he's given us a little obelisk. We need to feed our devotion into the obelisk to free, I'm assuming, what is now our master. And it's only 3,000, which honestly won't actually take us that long. We are just going to save up enough so that we can upgrade the obelisk and see where that takes us. That is quite a cool animation of feeding the obelisk, and it very much tells you when it is ready. What did we just do we think? There is a random chest. First one has a roll accumulate liquid devotion for you to claim the bulk of devotion. And just go back to stacking up some resources, because a 5% chance to gain double resources is gonna add up real quick, especially with how fast we are actually gaining them. Kind of wish there was a way that we could auto collect the experience orbs so we didn't have to keep clicking them, because that just slows down our ability to actually click when we have to move the mouse away all the time. I kind of want to keep stacking up the resource gains because we did slow down quite a lot, and if we're only going to be upgrading the obelisk with the experience, oh no, we wouldn't be though, would we? Because that isn't what he's asking for, but he does need 150,000 resources. We're definitely a bit off getting him there. I did forget that we do only have a cap of 5,000, so it is going to be worth us spending that now, but to upgrade our cap so that we are now up to 100,000, where we're not going to get quite so shafted quite so quickly. And we have the devotion reservoir, which does just fill up over time, which is something that we do definitely want to keep track of. And it takes about 2 minutes to fill up. That ain't bad, especially if it is just going to max out our devotion counter. Very happy with that. But we could also get another cultist, who we will put on... Oh, what's your negative? You're a bit slow. Okay, well, you can help over here anyway. So can you. And then look at how much faster this is going up. Obviously, it's nothing compared to how fast when we click as well, but it definitely is faster than it was. We've also got this door for the cultist quarters that we can unlock, because our little demon did tell us we do need to explore, which gives even more doors, and we can buy our cultists some beds. I assume it might make them rest back up quicker, because at the moment when they need to rest it does take quite a while, so it is definitely something that we're going to have to keep track of. So we can get them a nice little bed. He is now back up to full, but one of these we can just put in bed and he gets back up in 20 seconds. I'm hoping that they'll be able to do that themselves rather than us having to do it every single time. But by the fact that we had to put him in, I'm going to assume probably not. And we can get up to 20% chance to spawn experience as well. Now, we are nearly maxed on the amount of cultists we can assign to the orb. So that might be what we want to do first. Or it is 16,000 to... It is 16,000 to be able to afford another cultist slot. So we will just let that sit for just a little bit and bring our clicking up, because we do bring in significantly more than our cultists, but they're just there as a little bit of a passive income. We have saved up the 18,000 we do need to max out our devotion power, so that is now one upgrade completely maxed out, and you can just see how much faster that is going up than it was a second ago. So I cannot really complain about that. It will definitely not take us that long to save up however much we need, and we do have to find our guys when they do eventually just waddle off and do their own thing. Turns out that chest that we found does reappear every now and then, and they do just give us a few little buffs that we can use, and I think I am going to... We are going to take the one that just lets us get more cultists, because while they don't have that many places they can be right now, just having more of them will hopefully mean they'll at least get back to work pretty quickly, so that we can make more devotion from them and just take advantage of our little cult. We do now actually have too many cultists, so we are going to start purchasing more places and see if there's somewhere else I can put them to work. Because honestly, there's no point having an idle worker when Linda can come work down here, and over time we'll just spin this crystal, which gives us a little star. I don't actually think it's any quicker for me to be involved than it is without me here, so it is just probably something I'm going to have to watch from a distance and just collect as they spawn, which I don't know if you have noticed, but I'm not particularly good at paying attention to multiple things at once. We normally mess those up quite drastically, but we do have 3 of those to increase the amount of life essence we get, so each spin will now give us 2. And we can upgrade our devotion so that we can get 4 per click instead of 3. And maybe find these guys, get them to sleep so they're not wasting my time. Do we feel like there is going to be an upgrade that we can get that will make our... There are so many ducks. That will make our cultists automatically collect their orbs. We can buy more ducks. We've actually got a really good amount of ducks, and you can combine ducks in the full game. I assume that will improve their abilities rather than the fairly basic ones that they have currently. That little floaty thing we've got done there is actually collecting the life essence for us, so we don't have to go and get it anymore. And honestly, that is probably the best upgrade that we've got so far. Not having to go down there and collect them. And there's this little guy up here who flies around collecting our experience. Game changing. Absolutely and utterly game changing. Cannot believe how good that is. Especially with the amount of them that spawns, and I'd have to be looking down here, up here, clicking as fast as I can. just so that we could try and get everything happening at once. Not the best things ever. We do have just this person still waddling about, so we'll buy another bed so that this person will stop annoying me. But we are going to need more cultists as well, so that we are always at least passively gaining a little bit over there. I wonder if there's a way to just massively increase their energy, but I feel like that is a future thing to look at. But we do have another option where we get the Devotionist, a new type of cultist that is purple. Okay, I do now need to get extra leg room so I can get the 64,000 so I can get a new cultist. It won't take that long to get there anyway, it's just an unexpected addition. And he costs life crystals. Oh, probably should have checked that before I tried to do that, because that does slow us down just a little bit. Thinking about it, because of how long it is going to take us to get those life crystals, I am just going to summon another normal cultist and assign them down there, just so that we are getting as many people assigned and working on it as possible, because then we'll just be able to earn that 15 even faster. Considering how much I've been relying on the cultists to work down on the little life essence, it's probably worth us putting a bit of upgrades into them rather than just using them for a bit of baseline, because at the moment we have left them fairly alone, and that's probably not the best thing to do. But we can also get ourselves the Hall of Accolades, and we'll have some ducks jumping around. Yes, it does. And we get points for completing achievements. We might as well get everything we can with them. There's no point not, especially when there's some cool banners like that, some cool cannons, and whatever that is. I will let you guys tell me whatever he is asking for help, but we are just going to dump whatever resources we can into upgrading this life crystal generator. I'm not going to focus on the ones that improve it when I click on it, because I'm just going to keep up over here on the devotion and let our cultists work down here. I keep spending the life crystals on like upgrades to our cultist napping and stuff like that, and honestly I don't think that is something I should be caring too much about right now, when I could be spending them to just upgrade themselves and get us even more life crystals. Like, it's only 26 for making it up to 6 per spin, or I can increase the rate they spin so they make them faster rather than spending them making them walk a little bit quicker to get back to work. That will help out eventually, but right now it just seems like making more is probably in our best interests. And for the first time again, we have maxed out at the 100k, and it is going to cost 20 life crystals to upgrade it rather than spending our devotion, which honestly I am quite impressed by. I was not expecting it to use life crystals, and I'm a bit concerned what the 999 trillion was afterwards. But we are going to increase the walk speed by quite a lot. 1.75 to 2.75 means our cultists are basically going to run around now. Look at him go. We'll need to give them a bit more climbing speed later, but for now just have them doing the walks between each at a vaguely decent speed is fine by me. And we are only 170,000 away from maxing out the tier 1 efficiency of our cultist, so it won't be too long for us. And just a few seconds later we can max out cultist efficiency 1, but with that we did just upgrade our life crystals to getting a 6 per spin. But we are definitely hitting the point where everything is slowing down a little bit, so we do need to go back to just getting ourselves more devotion and not concentrating so much on everything else. I know I did just say I want to concentrate on getting more devotion, use our devotion sensibly, but I could also make it so that 1 in every 2 clicks gets us experience orbs, and then that max out that purchase, so I don't have to see it anymore. That didn't really slow us down all that much when you think about it, so I'm going to pretend that was a sensible purchase. We do have enough life crystals to get it up to 7 per spin, and our little experience collector does get a little bit overwhelmed at times. I don't know if we have a way of making him better, but honestly, I don't know what he expected coming and getting trapped in a cult. So unfortunately for him, this is his life now and he will just have to keep suffering. But we have again maxed out our devotion. We don't have enough to, I don't know where some of it went, to increase our resource factor. It's 999 trillion somethings. So we will just spend them instead, on which we can upgrade the amount of devotion we get per click up to 400% and give it a 45% chance that we'll get double resources. We do still have cultists wandering the Isles, but they'll get to where they're going eventually. Everyone has a job and does eventually get there. They're just a teeny bit slow in doing that, but you know, they're not being paid. They are just in eternal suffering. And we have another magic chest, which increases the reservoir clicks. More devotion clicks, which I assume just makes that jar give us more, which will spend... Oh, we're so close to just maxing out our double chance to 50%. So we are just gonna let that happen right there. So we do only have 2 more devotion upgrades that we need to work on. We are getting very close to having that section of it done, and I am quite surprised at that. And we still have not purchased a devotionist yet. That's a future problem. What I'm guaranteed is going to happen is I'm going to ignore it until I've basically finished the demo, and it's going to be one of the most broken things ever. But it's a thing that I do so often that I'm just used to it happening now. But we'll also make it so that we get even more per click. That isn't an upgrade that we'll be able to buy. I think we're going to roll a couple more ducks who give us more cultist walking speed. I'm not sure if... There are a couple that we don't have yet, so I don't know whether that should be something we work towards. I do think I'm going to want to spin a load more ducks though, to try and get us a lot more upgrades. See what they give it, because there might be one that just gives us storage, there might not. I'm not particularly sure. We've maxed out our devotion again, and we are going to use that to get another cultist, and we're going to buy a devotionist so we can finally see what they do. Here's how the little party get-ins. So our devotionist gets us 200% when he works at the altar. So he is just a specialist over here. Can't complain at that. And while we were sorting him, we can give ourselves even more devotion from our cultists. I do think, unfortunately, we are going to have to start helping our life crystal out, because there are not really that many upgrades over here that we want to work towards anymore. It does fortunately help up just a little bit when we click the crystal, but we will put a fair few upgrades into just making that as quick as possible. And since we're helping it, we'll make our clicks worth even more, because we are now up to 0.6 of a spin when it does max spin out at 4. It does work a lot better when we've got our cultists actually working on it rather than doing whatever they've decided is more important than their job. But we'll help out as much as we can. We can make the crystal start to basically vibrate, which just makes it charge even faster. I'm thinking I might upgrade the max velocity of the spin as well, because I don't know whether we're hitting the cap on it, and at which point upgrading our focus touch isn't worth it. So that is just something we'll have to, I'd say, keep an eye on, but I can guarantee you I'm not going to notice a difference, and I'm just going to click things as they happen. And we will increase our cultist challenge speed by 10% as well. There are quite a lot of upgrades in here for us to work towards, so that is at least helpful that there is a good amount for us to spend our crystals on. I have just been slowly spinning the life crystal about and just noticed that we can unlock a library. It does cost 50 life crystals, which is incredibly expensive at the moment, but I wonder what's in the library. Makes it worthwhile for us to spend so much of our resources. We can first of all expand the library, get books everywhere. I have activated a shrine, but it wants a cultist, so I am going to borrow Alexa, which just gives us more devotion per click. but we'll up our cultist capacity. We are just getting a lot of these upgrades back to back, so I'm very happy about that. A free devotionist, make them climb faster. I assume we're just getting given all of these upgrades now. Increase the reservoir clicks, so that's now worth quite a lot more. We are again back up to our max. And we are about to max out our capacity as well. We are going to spend our life crystals just on getting even more life crystals, because it just makes sense to me. And in the library, we can spend some of this devotion that we've saved up on books. A lot of extra books. Fortunately, those were free, because I don't really know what they do. I think it wants a cultist, and I don't really know what he does over here. Oh, he gives us knowledge. Can we assist? We could assist with that. What feels more important right now? Life crystals, where we'll upgrade our essence overflow, or working towards the books. We can use our books to make our cultists do their job faster, so that's not too bad. These do add up fairly quickly. It does seem a lot quicker to collect than the life crystals do, so we at least have a bonus there. But we are just gonna keep spending what we can. And we got so many knowledge points already. Do we know what this? No, we still don't know what currency that is yet. But I think we're going to kind of keep pushing it on bookworm efficiency just to make our guy work even faster. And there is only a cap of about 1,000, so he will reach that nice and quick. Turns out it's very easy to max out with the knowledge points when you zone out and forget that you're playing this game. But we do now have a good income of that and a lot of life crystals save up. And I say a lot, but they will disappear as soon as I click anything. We will spend 100 to connect the life crystal and the orb of devotion, and we'll spend the other 100 on focused tech. I wonder, does that mean clicking one clicks the other? Doesn't seem to. Oh, it seems that if we click the crystal, it sends the life crystal up to the orb, and then we get devotion from that as well, which is a nice little addition. I feel like it would have been nicer earlier, but you know, we take what we can get. We do now have just over 200 life crystals, but we are going to spend increasing the crystal velocity, so it will spin even faster, just actually quite impressively fast now. So putting a bit of priority into that earlier, you could make quite a few life crystals without basically having to ignore the rest of the game because you've already done it. Highly recommended. But I think you get the point. This has been All Hail the Orb, where we do just create another little cult. We did let these ones read, we let these ones sleep, which, as you know, not all cults get, so they should feel lucky, and praise the orb for everything it's worth. All Hail the Orb is expected to release on the 20th of April. A link will be down in the description below. I hope you've had fun, and I will see you in the next one.